Bismillahirrahmanirrahim and Assalamu alaikum. I hope that you all are doing fine. This is week 2 and day 2 of class 9 physics. And today we are going to study about equilibrium and its conditions. So let us move on to equilibrium first. As we have discussed in Newton's first law of motion, that a body continues in its state of rest or of uniform motion in a straight line if no net or resultant force acts on it. That, let's say, an example of a book lying on a table. It will be in that position for the whole time unless or until I'll apply some external force on it. So same as the equilibrium. Equilibrium means balance. A body is said to be in an equilibrium if no net force acts on it. Let us see an example related to an equilibrium. Firstly, this is an example of a person who is standing or who is in a state of rest. The weight of that person is acting in downward direction, while the force of friction is acting in the upward direction. So these both are opposite forces and they will cancel the effect of each other, and there will be no net force, or we can say there will be no resultant force acts on it. So the body will be in a state of equilibrium. Let's move on to the example number 2. This is an example of a log. The forces acting on a log are upward forces. These are F1 and F2, while the downward force is the weight of the log. These upward forces will cancel the effect of the downward forces, the force that is the weight of the log, and there will be no resultant force that will be acting on the body, or we can say that there will be no net force which will be acting on a body. So this log will also be in a state of equilibrium. Third example is a wall hanging. As you can see that the weight of the wall hanging is acting in the downward direction, while the tension in the string will be acting in the upward direction. So these two forces will cancel the effect of each other, and same, there will be no net force acts on this body, and it will be in the state of equilibrium. Now we have two types of equilibrium. First one is static equilibrium and the second one is dynamic equilibrium. Static mean rest. So if the body is in a state of rest, then the equilibrium will be static equilibrium. Let's say a book lying on a table or an object lying on a table. The weight of the body is acting in the downward direction, while the reaction of the table is acting in an upward direction. So these two forces are cancelling the effect of each other, and there will be no net force acts on it. So this body is in a state of equilibrium. Same with this condition. So for examples of static equilibrium, we can assume any stationary objects. Those objects that are in a state of rest can be in the examples of static equilibrium. Second one we have is dynamic equilibrium. What is dynamic equilibrium? If a body is in a motion but it maintains a constant velocity, it means that it is moving with the constant velocity, then the equilibrium will be dynamic equilibrium. Let's say we have a paratrooper who is coming down with the terminal velocity. The weight of the paratrooper will be acting in the downward direction, while the air resistance or the air friction will be acting in the upward direction. So these forces will cancel the effect of each other, and there will be no net force acts on it, or we can say that the body will be in a state of equilibrium. Here in static equilibrium, if the body is in the state of rest, it means that there will be no velocity in it. The velocity will be equals to 0. But in dynamic equilibrium, it is moving with the constant velocity, or we can say uniform velocity. So the velocity will be uniform, but the acceleration will be 0 in it. We have two conditions for equilibrium. If we satisfy these two conditions, then a body will be called in a state of equilibrium. Let's talk about these two conditions. First condition of equilibrium. First condition of equilibrium is stated as that a body is set to satisfy first condition of equilibrium if the resultant of all the forces acting on it will be equals to 0. We have discussed the examples related to this, that let's say there are two forces. First one is the weight of the object which is acting in the downward direction, and second one is the reaction of the table which is acting in the upward direction. So there are two forces which is acting on this block. So what will be the resultant of these two forces will be equals to 0. So this is first condition of equilibrium, that if the sum of the forces acting on a body is equals to 0, then the body will satisfy first condition of equilibrium. Let's say we have n number of forces. We don't know how many forces do we have. We are just assuming it. Let's say we have number of forces and we just call this number as n. So F1, F2, F3 and so on to Fn, there are a number of forces which are acting on a body such that they will satisfy first condition of equilibrium if the sum of all these forces will be equals to 0. Or we can also write it as sigma F is equals to 0. This symbol is a Greek letter and this Greek letter is known as sigma. What does sigma stand for? Sigma stand for summation. Summation means sum. Summation of F is equals to 0. It means that sum of all the forces that are acting on a body is equals to 0. This equation is the first condition of equilibrium. That if a body is satisfy first condition of equilibrium, it must have that all the forces that are acting on a body should be equals to 0. Next thing is, if we say that we state the forces in x and y components, then these forces can be written as F1x, F2x, F3x and so on to Fnx. And if we state these forces as in a y component, so we can write it as F1y, F2y, F3y and so on to Fny, which is equal to 0. What is x and y component? X component forces are those forces which are acting in the horizontal direction, and y component forces are those forces which are acting in the vertical direction. So as you can see here, the weight of the body is in the vertical direction, acting downward. Upward and downward are vertical direction, while the right and left are considered in the horizontal direction or x components. Okay, so here we can see that there are two y component forces. We can say that there are two forces which are acting in the y-axis. First one is the weight of the body and second one is the reaction of the table. So if the sum of these two forces is equals to 0, then it satisfies first condition of equilibrium. There is no x component, or there is no force that is acting along x-axis here. We can also write this F1x plus F2x plus F3x and so on to Fnx is equal to 0 as summation of Fx. We can write it as summation of Fx is equal to 0, that sum of all the x component forces is equal to 0. Or we can also write that F1y, F2y, F3y plus Fny is equal to 0 as summation or sigma of Fy is equal to 0. That sum of all the x component forces is equal to 0. Sum of the all the y component forces are equals to 0. So this is the first condition of equilibrium, that a body satisfies first condition of equilibrium if sum of all the forces that are acting on a body will be equals to 0. or we can say that they will cancel the effect of each other, and in the resultant we have no net force that will be acting on a body. Let's see an example related to the first condition of equilibrium. They said a block of weight 10 Newton is hanging through a cord as shown in this figure. We have to find out the tension in the cord. As you can see here, this is a block whose weight is 10 Newton. So the weight of the block is 10 Newton, which is acting in the downward direction. And we have to find out the tension of the cord, which is acting in the upward direction. Now let's say that for we have four x and y axis, like positive y axis, negative y axis, positive x axis and negative x axis. So you can see here that there are two forces. In which direction these forces are acting? Are they acting in the x-axis? Do you think so? No, these forces are not acting on the x-axis. So the summation of Fx is equals to 0, as there is no force that is acting along x-axis. Now let's talk about the y-axis. Is it the forces are acting in the y-axis? Yes, they are acting along the y-axis. So summation of y-axis is equal to 0. How many forces are acting along it? Two forces. First one is the weight of the body, which is acting along negative y-axis. And second one is the tension of the body, which is acting along positive x-axis. So because it is in the positive y-axis, so the tension will be positive. And because the weight of the body is acting along negative y-axis, so weight will be written as minus W. So if we move the weight over here, the negative sign will be removed, and tension will be equals to the weight, which was 10 Newton. So the body will be in equilibrium. That weight of the body was 10 Newton and tension will also be 10 Newton. They both will cancel the effect of each other and the body will be in the state of equilibrium. Now, to discuss the second condition of equilibrium, we need to reinforce the knowledge related to torque, that a torque is equal to the product of force and moment arm, that tau is equals to F cross L. Here L is represented as R, where tau is a Greek letter and it is the symbol of torque, and moment arm, that is L, is the perpendicular distance between the axis of rotation and line of action of force, and F is the force. We know these points as we have discussed in the topic torque. Now for second condition of equilibrium, let us analyze this example. As we discussed first condition of equilibrium, which was sum of all the forces acting on a body is equals to 0, then the body will be in a state of equilibrium. But it doesn't ensure that the body will be in a state of equilibrium or not. Let's say we have two situations. First one is this situation and second one is this situation. Here there are two opposite forces of same magnitude, but they are acting along the opposite direction, and the line of action of forces same. So is the body will be in equilibrium or the body will be balanced? Yes, it will be balanced, or we can say it will be in a state of equilibrium because the line of action of forces same. So it will not produce any rotation in a body. But if we shift the location of the forces as we have shown in this figure as F1 and F2, now you can say that the force F1 is acting on this line and F2 is acting on this line. So the line of action of force is different. They both are opposite direction forces. They both are unlike parallel forces. They both are acting along this opposite direction, but they are not acting along the same line. It means that they will not produce. They will not be in equilibrium. it means that they will produce a rotation in a body. In this situation B, the body will have the tendency to rotate. So if the body is in a rotation, does it means that the body will be in equilibrium? No. So to satisfy this thing, we have second condition of equilibrium, and for the second condition, it's stated as sum of all the torques acting on a body must be equals to 0. We have discussed in the previous topic, that was couple, that if the line of action of both forces, unlike parallel forces, is not same, then the body will produce a rotation. And if this body will produce a rotation in a body, then the body will not be in equilibrium. So to satisfy the second condition states as the sum of all the torques acting on a body, or we can say the resultant force acting on a torque acting on a body, must be equals to 0. Now what are the sum of all the torques? That all the clockwise torques must be equals to all the anti-clockwise torques. So it's stated as for a body to remain at rest, the net torque acting on it must be equals to 0, or we can also write it as summation of tau is equals to 0. This is the second condition of equilibrium. That, let's say we have an example of a seesaw. If there were two bodies on either sides of the seesaw, and the seesaw is balanced, it means that the anti-clockwise movements is equals to the clockwise movements. So the body was in a state of equilibrium. It means that the sum of all the torques that were produced in the seesaw was equals to 0, and that seesaw satisfy second condition of equilibrium. So if a body wants to be in a state of equilibrium, it must satisfy two conditions. First one, that the forces that are acting on that body must be equals to 0. Resultant of all the forces that are acting on the body must be equals to 0. And the sum of all the torques that are acting on the body should be equals to 0. These are the only requirements for the body to be in equilibrium. So firstly, we have talked about the equilibrium, that if a body wants to be in a state of equilibrium, then there will be no net force X on it. Then we have talked about its type, that there are two types of equilibrium. First one is static and second one is dynamic. Static mean rest and dynamic mean motion. The motion will be uniform velocity. Then we had discussed about the examples of static and dynamic equilibrium. After that, we discuss about the two conditions of equilibrium. First condition of equilibrium is that sum of all the forces, or the resultant of all the forces, is equals to 0. That is sigma F is equals to 0. Whereas in second condition of equilibrium, that we said that it is not the first condition of equilibrium does not ensure that the body will be in equilibrium, because the body has the tendency to rotate. For this, we have second condition of equilibrium, which states that sum of all the torques acting on a body will be equals to 0. Our assignment for today is solve the quick quiz from page number 99 of your textbook and learn 4.5 to 4.9 question answers from page number 104 and 105 of your textbook. That's all for today. Thank you and Allah Hafiz.